Hey guys, it's your friendly neighborhood advisor here, Alexander Quinn, and today I'm going to be talking about how to survive a uh, market crash, or I guess market downturn, whatever works. So, first thing you want to do is you want to diversify your assets, or well, you want to allocate your assets, but yeah, diversify your asset portfolios. And what that means is to have your money in different places and different things. This is actually one of the most common strategies one of the most common advice that you will hear if you talk to a financial advisor on what to do if you have money or if you want to invest into something. You shouldn't just pick one thing to invest in. Try to invest in more than one thing. Uh, Real estate, if the real estate market is going down, it would be nice for you to have something in, let's say, stocks. If stocks are doing poorly, it'd be nice if you had a different, even if you just go into stocks and you don't have a whole lot of money to put elsewhere, then whether it be stocks, real estate, whatever else, you want to have your you want to be in multiple stocks. You want to be in different types so that if utilities are doing poorly, then you've got something in Google. If Google and Apple and Facebook are doing poorly, you've got something over in Amazon. If stores are doing poorly, you've got something in metals. Stuff like that. You want to diversify your portfolio in whatever asset class you're doing, whether you are actively trading or not. And if you have more than one thing that you're doing, that's even better because then it's not just the stock market in general, it's stock market and housing market, etc. So there are diversify your assets, diversify your portfolios, just diversify as much as you can. All right. So tip number 2 is going to be um, to not be emotional. When you make your decisions, try to make them out of sound logic and on not under the assumption on what may or may not happen in the market. Decide what your strategy is, how you're going to avoid what everyone else is experiencing. That's what you want to do, because otherwise, what happens is, for example, when there was a toilet paper shortage during COVID, it didn't happen because there was true capability for a shortage. The reason why it happened was because people thought there was going to be a shortage, and since people thought there was going to be a shortage, they bought it all, creating a shortage. And that's how stocks work as well. When people think things are going to go bad, they end up selling. When people think things are going to go well, they start buying, and it makes it so that the market kind of follows what people think it's going to do. So if you try to time the market, if you try to do things emotionally or go off of what you think, but it's really just what you feel is going to happen, then you're going to be doing the same thing that everybody else is doing. And you're going to get nowhere. In order for you to make money, someone else has to lose money. You have to do better than the average person's mistakes in the stock market to prevail. And actually, you have to do better than that, because most of the money is not held by the average person. Most of the money is actually held by people who are advised financially or are already performing very well financially and know how the market works a heck of a lot more than you do. So whether it be a stock market, housing market, whatever the case is, just don't buy or sell out just because of the timing, because you probably won't win out that way. Stick with it. Markets come back up over time. If you look at any 10-year period in history, you'll have a hard time finding any period in history where sticking with it for 10 years ended up being a bad idea. Even if you chose the worst moment, you'll see that it's really not. It's just unlikely that you're going to come out. That you're going to lose out if you just stick to your guns. I don't recommend buying or selling just because it's like a low market. You can buy, I suppose, but I would only buy if I had evidence that it was turning into a good market, not just simply speculation, because if you're speculating it, others probably are too. Especially if you're watching this video rather than relying on like a degree, experience, research, statistics, etc. So, tip number 3 is going to be if you're going to try to make moves anyway and you're not going to just keep everything where it is, whether it be real estate market, stock market, whatever, then you're going to want to strategize. All right. And when you strategize, I think you should stick to your guns. What that means is you should focus on what's concrete, focus on what you're good at, focus on what's going right, not what's going wrong. If you try to fix things that are going wrong, that's actually a difficult path, because it's hard to really know what's going wrong or what you can do better. And even if you know what you can do better, the problem is for you to make the mistake in the first place means that you don't have as much of a natural aptitude as you would for other things that are not mistakes, things that you did not um, screw up with. So what you should do is you should stick to your strengths. You should stick to your guns. You should look at what's concrete and what's for sure. If you're going to sell out anyway, then look at what's for sure and what's not for sure. Look at what you think is going to bounce back. For example, Google, Apple, Amazon, Facebook, all of those. I would bank that those are going to do well. And then in the housing market, just any house that you're going to fix and flip will probably produce money as long as as long as you calculate the numbers properly and you actually get the work done on time. And any rental property will probably perform well in general because usually when the prices suck, then the rent is good. And usually when the rent sucks, then the prices are good. When there's more buyers, then either there's more buyers, so then your property value is increasing in value, or there's more sellers, meaning you can buy it real cheap. So it's not really a such thing as a bad market. You just get the opportunity of whether or not you want to take advantage of it being a good time to buy or it being a good time to sell. And like I said before, if you're trying to invest money, then if the rates are high, then you want to buy because for one, there's less competition, and that's going to make it so that if you choose a house that if you find a good deal, you'll get it instead of it getting swiped by someone who has an advantage over you, like paying all in cash for the entire thing or something like that. Whereas also when the prices are high, usually the rent is also high. That's usually how it goes. There's a strong correlation there. But if it's like I said before, if it's not a good time to buy, then it's usually the rent is doing pretty well. So then go invest somewhere else, but then keep the property that you already have. That's usually how properties work. If I need more money, I'm either making good rent or it's a good time to sell. There's not really, it's one or the other usually. Sometimes both. Depends on what your goals are and how well your property is appreciating. So those are my three main tips to diversify your assets, to not approach the downturning market emotionally, and to be strategic and focus on what's probably going to do well and what's going to work. Later this week, we're going to be making a video about what how to go about trying to invest in stocks if you're interested in that and you don't want to go through a whole bunch of hassle and you just kind of like want a nice summary of different approaches you can take to that will be just at least just 30 minutes to 45 minutes worth of research before trying to jump into it, starting with paper trading, which is where you pretend first before you actually go into it. So follow if you want to see some tips for that. I hope this advice has helped someone out there. You all take care and have a great day.